I often get asked, can I drive after having nail surgery? And the answer is yes, probably. Basically, the question comes down to, are you safe to drive? When you have nail surgery, we inject into the base of the toe. So if you imagine this is a big toe, we do an injection here and here, and that numbs the toe. The toe is only going to be numbed from there up. If it's injected quite low down, then sometimes it can catch one of the nerves that supply the toe next to it. In that case, that toe might be numbed. But do we drive with our toes? No. Well, you shouldn't be anyway. So the real question is, are you safe to drive? Well, unless you do drive with your toes, you can drive after nail surgery. But there's another caveat to this. When you have nail surgery, you need to be wearing a shoe that is large enough to accommodate the dressings from the surgery. And the dressings are quite bulky. You can expect your toe to double the size it was before you went in for the procedure, just because the dressings are quite big. And this means that you'll need to be wearing shoes that are looser. And driving in loose shoes is not a good idea because you can't control the car as well. If you're somebody who regularly drives in flip-flops, then you might be okay to drive after the nail surgery because you'll be familiar with driving with flip-flops on and you'll be able to control the car properly. The ideal scenario though, if you're driving after nail surgery, is that you wear sandals because they'll be open-toed and they'll be fastened to your foot properly. The final question to ask after having had nail surgery as to whether or not you can drive is, are you safe? Do you feel well enough to drive afterwards? Very, very rarely, but it does happen. I have patients who will faint, and normally they come round a few minutes, they're fine, they're absolutely great. Sometimes, however, it takes a little bit longer for them to come round and feel well in themselves. And in those instances, I have said, no, you can't drive home. You need someone to drive you home. This is really, really, really rare. But if it happens and you're worried about parking and things like that, you should be able to be given a note by the podiatrist who does your procedure, or surgeon who does your procedure. They will then say you were having surgery, you had a funny turn, you weren't fit to drive, and that should let you off of any parking tickets. If not, the council probably need to reconsider their policies with respect to parking tickets.